we know it today. 4 millennia have not stilled the schisms of mankind. The stellar nations, each an original colony of Earth, now vie for control as once nations fought over the clay of the homeworld. Nothing has changed. Proud Antares, mankind's eldest colony of worlds, once defeated some 1,000 years past. Now under a new power, Antares seeks independence from the League of Nations. For herself, and for many border systems. The United League, founded by 5 nations, has endured for almost a millennia, but dissent is deeply so. And as more nations rally to the resurgent Eltarian Emperor, the League finds itself more embattled by the day.
Welcome to the Angels Fall First tutorials. Please move forwards and activate one of the available tutorials with the interaction key. Welcome, Marine. You are currently in the briefing room of a USN Hugin-class battleship. Read these tutorial prompts carefully, and we'll all get along splendidly. Use the interaction key to proceed to the next message. If needed, all the controls can be rebound in the menu. Also in the menu, you will find the TAC map, which will help you navigate the world, both in this tutorial and in the actual missions. You can press the home key at any time, or redeploy from the TAC map to return to the tutorial selection.
Choose from the tutorials available.
Observe the objective marker on your HUD. This indicates a command has been given to you by a superior officer. Marines are expected to obey such orders.
In the field, commanders can issue orders to squad leaders, and squad leaders to squad members.
You've been given command of O'Neill to assist you. Isn't that right, O'Neill?
Hello, sir, that's right.
Jolly good chap. To select a subject for your orders, aim at and tag an enemy, a friendly, or an objective under your crosshairs. Press the tag key whilst aiming at the hologram in the ship. Now with your target tagged, press and hold the command key. Move your selection over the target order and release to issue a target order on the enemy hologram.
Right, sir, watch this. That'll sort him out.
Good man. The orders are context sensitive. Depending on what you tagged, you will be able to order your team or squad members to target, support, or move to locations. Squad mates and squad leaders, if you're the entire team's commander, can also be selected and ordered by left and right clicking on the TAC map.
Remember, you will be rewarded for giving and following orders competently. Since you're at the gun range, experiment with the available weaponry which have random mods applied, and use the target range for practice. Return to the briefing room for more tutorials when you feel ready to move on.
Stay sharp, weapons free.
Return to the briefing room. Return to the briefing room for more tutorials when you feel ready to move on.
Delay that. There seems to have been an accident at the firing range. One of your fellow soldiers has been incapacitated and his power armor is damaged. Let's use this opportunity for some quick combat medic training. Go back to the shooting range. Revive your teammate by shooting him with the multi-wrench. It's completely safe and will repair his armor in no time. You can select the multi-wrench with the next and previous weapons keys. If you don't currently have a multi-wrench in your inventory, you can pick one up from the nearby table.
I have fallen over. Thank you very much, sir.
I think he's going to be just fine now. You can return to the briefing room for more tutorials. We'll be holding the court-martial later. You are now on board an orbital vehicle testing facility. Vehicle availability varies per map. Clearance for additional hardware can be earned by good performance in the field. You'll be notified of a vehicle being awarded to you when you respawn, or whenever it becomes available over the course of a battle. Approach the indicated vehicle in the garage and press the interaction key in order to simulate a vehicle drop. When the vehicle is about to be deployed, you can adjust its loadout, exactly like in the case of infantry. To change your loadout, simply select an item on the equipment list to the left. Then select an item in the slot list to either swap out the equipment or change its mods. Experiment by adding and removing loadout items to the vehicle. Observe your points budget bars to the top right. Battle experience is measured and tracked against 3 criteria. Combat, for inflicting damage on the enemy. Support, for assisting your teammates. And command, for following and giving orders appropriately. Each of these corresponds to a budget category you must fit your loadout within. Every mod and piece of equipment costs a certain amount of budget in each category. You can choose any mod or equipment that you like, but if you exceed your budget in any way, you'll be unable to deploy. You may increase your budget by gaining ranks on the battlefield.
The auto vehicles may not be driven by other players unless you die, upon which they may be claimed and bound to the next driver. If you do not currently own a vehicle, one may be commandeered from any AI driver. Camera point of view can be changed with previous and next camera, default, comma and period keys. The seat can be changed with previous and next seat, default N or M. All vehicles have secondary gunner seats, which are controlled by the onboard computer unless occupied.
Target the highlighted enemy vehicle by aiming at it and pressing the tag button. Tagging enables the weapon aim lead indicator, displays target information to the bottom right of the HUD, and allows the issuing of relevant orders to subordinates.
The rectangle color denotes identification friend or foe. It also changes from neutral to alert color when an enemy target is in range.
Also shown are bars for the target's armor and structural status, including energy shields if present. The tagged vehicle is on the enemy team and should be destroyed. Open the vehicle command menu and order your vehicle's weapon to fire by issuing a target order. Or switch to the turret seat and destroy it.
Vehicles are now available to test. When ready to return to the briefing room, press Show Menu, Default Escape, to open the TAC map. With the tag map open, you will need to choose a location, the war room, and a spawn point within that location from the lists to the top left. You will then be able to hit deploy to the bottom right in order to return to the briefing room.
Stay sharp, weapons free.
You are now inside the crew quarters of one of the USN Fleet's capital ships.
Your superior officer has given you a new objective. This objective is displayed at the top right of your HUD, but you should look around to find the location of the objective marker in the world and make your way towards it. In this case, we'll proceed to the ship's starboard weapons bay. Capital-class ships have multiple subsystems which may take damage and become disabled during combat. We've simulated damage to this railgun turret system. Go to the weapon console and repair it using the multi-wrench. You can select the multi-wrench with the next and previous weapons keys. If you don't currently, well done. Repairing systems on capital ships can be a full-time occupation in battle and is vital to your team's survival in space. Now proceed to the hangar bay, and we'll get you into a fighter craft for some flight training. Your superior officer has given you a new objective. Observe the HUD objective UI to the top right of your screen.
Since this objective is outside the ship you are in, HUD markers are indicating the locations of the ship's helm and fighter launch bays. The helm is currently disabled. Explore the ship and launch a fighter when ready.
This is the hangar bay. From here you can launch fighters, bombers, and dropships. We've placed descriptions of each craft at their respective launch stations.
When you're ready, launch a fighter. Go to the bay and launch a fighter, please. Get in a fighter. The fighters are in the bay. Launcher fighter when ready. I'll take a moment to recap on controls for light space. The theme keys now roll your...
Handling can be toggled between fully Newtonian free flight and more arcade-style gravitic controls with the toggle flight mode key.
Using both these engine modes is crucial for advanced maneuvers. Grav mode can help you turn and brake, while free mode lets you pivot without altering direction and fly faster over long distances. Fly over to the indicated location. Static enemy defense drones have been deployed. Destroy all 3 of them.
Aim at the drones and press the tag key to target. If these were real enemies, they might employ Seeking missiles. Vehicles have a countermeasure slot that can contain equipment to help you avoid being hit by these.
Destroyed. That'll teach them not to mess with the Navy.
Now, return to the forward bay of the USNV Swift and dock by approaching the icon near the bay and hitting the interaction key. Once docked, you can simply wait and be relaunched, fully rearmed and repaired. This time, however, instead hit the interaction key to
You're now back in your carrier's hangar bay. On some missions, dropships may be available. These can be used to board enemy carriers and stations.
launch a dropship now by entering its module and approaching the cockpit ramp from the inside.
A captured enemy frigate has been parked nearby. Fly to the indicated location. Target the enemy frigate. Default key G.
Larger vessels have some exposed subsystems on their hull. These can be targeted individually. Enough damage on these points will disable the subsystem.
The ship will auto-repair these subsystems over time, but crew should be prepared to repair them faster.
Note the new icon which has appeared on your HUD. This represents a viable breach point where you can force entry to the enemy ship.
Fly towards it and press U.
To join the boarding party, be ready to press the interaction.
Go now. If you fail to get inside the enemy frigate, you may either redock at the Hugin and try a second module, or simply open the tag map and redeploy inside the enemy frigate to continue. You are now on board the enemy frigate. Your options here include sabotaging subsystem control panels, killing the crew, and destroying the core.
Explore the interior and destroy the 3 core lockout consoles, marked with yellow target HUD icons. Note that there are many subsystem consoles to sabotage. The first core lockout has been destroyed. Proceed to the next. The second core lockout has been destroyed. Proceed to the core. Found the engine room. Destroy the indicated core, but be advised, when you do, you will initiate a chain reaction that will destroy the vessel. Be ready to evacuate.
Downstairs to escape the explosion. Destroyed.
Open the tank map and select the war. Alternatively, return to the battleship bay and make your way to the bridge. We've re-enabled helm controls so you can take her for a spin. We've brought in some old freighters and captured vessels for target practice. Please, try not to scratch the paint job. This is the helm station of this battleship. Use the interact key to take control of the vessel. Controls for large ships are identical to those of fighter-sized craft, but large ships respond more slowly, and this, the largest ship, responds extremely slowly indeed. Plan your maneuvers tactically, and make use of the toggle flight mode button where necessary to pivot without changing course. You can use the free look key to look around freely in a vehicle. This is especially useful in spaceships, let alone capital ships. Have fun with the target ships, and redeploy to the war room via the TAC map when you're ready.
Attack this objective.
In this final tutorial, we shall cover game modes and how to win battles.
Matches are won by successfully attacking or defending primary objectives. Primary objective tasks may include holding a location for a period of time, destroying a target, or rewiring a console by planting and defending a hacked device. Secondary objectives indicate team spawn points. On land, these are dropship landing zones, whilst in space, they are frigate and battleship class carriers. While not critical like primary objectives, gaining or denying the enemy a spawn location will severely hinder their progress. Flashing icons mean an objective is currently being attacked by someone. There are 2 game modes available. The first is Incursion. Attackers must complete a number of objectives split into 3 phases. On completion of a phase, attackers must push deeper into the map in order to reach the next set of objectives. Some more time to do so is awarded.
When all phases are complete, the map is won by the attacking team.
The attacker's phase progress will be indicated at the top of the screen. Keep an eye on it during combat. The defending team might instead win by 1 or 2 strategies. Solid defensive primary objectives will run down the mission timer. Alternately, the defenders might opt to concentrate on their secondary objectives. Depriving the enemy of spawn points for long enough will force a retreat in this mode. The second game mode is called Territories. In this mode, both teams fight for possession of a set of primary objectives. Owning these objectives counts towards a team's progress. This will be again tracked at the top of the screen during combat. Destruction of enemy-owned vehicles will also increase your team's progress. Look after your own assets. The first team to achieve a full bar will win. Secondary objectives will be present, but no team can win by timeout or by holding all the enemy spawn points in this mode.
This concludes the tutorials. You now have access to several practice scenarios to help you get a feel for battle in space and on the ground. Make use of these and hone your skills. We wish you the best of luck.
Forwards for the United League! Sir! Sir!
Gentlemen, Commander once again seen fit to place us at the sharp end. The ongoing siege of the Eureka system continues, and our job this time is to make a push on the lower west side of Eurega's Undercity. We inserted the lower west commercial dock, pushing immediately to secure the defenses and infrastructure there. It's vital to expand our beachhead, secure points on this street so we can drop reinforcements and keep things rolling. Intel suggests that these two buildings are being used as mobile command posts. You will need to neutralize them to proceed any further into the city. Once those objectives have been secured, we will have an opportunity to secure more drop points at these locations before moving on to our main objective. This small tower block has been chosen as a suitable forward HQ from which to conduct further operations. The enemy are entrenched on the lower levels and must be dealt with in order to gain access to the tower.
That will be all, gentlemen. To your stations, please.
this objective. Forwards for the United League!
Stay sharp. Weapons free. Attack this objective. Attack this objective. Sharp, weapons free. Stay sharp, weapons free. this objective. Regroup